Welcome to the Prophets in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle DeTeach, or Coach Danni D, and I help women entrepreneurs and professionals to achieve their personal success stories that include joy, fulfillment, and balance. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease, be successful, and enjoy your life. My happy place is spending as much time in my PJs as humanly possible. And I want to help other women find their happy space while running profitable businesses or having a successful career. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hello and welcome to the Prophets in Pajamas podcast. I am your host, Coach Danni D, always here trying to help you find that space of balance, joy, fulfillment, so that you can be living your best life right now, not waiting until you retire or some other date and time that we don't even know what it is. That's what I'm here for. I have a great guest today. I'm so excited. To have her here. I'm going to do a brief introduction, but just to kind of give y'all an understanding, um, her common theme is be her now, right? So that is just intriguing in it of itself for me because everything I believe is tied to you being the most you that you could possibly be. So I'm excited to jump into this conversation. I'm just going to introduce her so we could get to it. All right, so we have CeCe Woodrit, right?
Woodrit, yes.
Woodrit. I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly.
Mhm.
And she is a business alignment coach and the creator of the Soul Liberation Method, where she coaches women on how to grow their businesses with clarity, confidence, and authentic alignment. That is like every one of my like words. Like, like if you go to
Yes.
to my business board and my words that you just put them all in one in one sentence. Um, how to trust your inner guidance and build success without pressure, hustle, or burnout. So,
Mm.
just from her bio alone, y'all know that she is totally aligned with the messaging of this podcast. So, CeCe, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, I'm excited for this conversation. So, I'm just going to start it off by asking you to share your entrepreneurial journey because I
Mhm.
really love to hear how people got to the thing, like that purpose work. So tell us a little bit about your journey.
Sure. So my entrepreneur journey actually started from pretty much a spiritual awakening. I always knew that I was called for more. Many years ago, over 10 plus years ago, I started to feel like really heavy, like something was missing. There were things that I wanted to do, but I was not doing them. And then I just got to a point where I just kind of masked it, like, okay, this is just what it is. I put all this work into, building this career and doing everything that, my parents wanted me to and all of those things, but it still really felt heavy. And then what happened was all of a sudden my father passed away suddenly.
Mm,
And that was like awakening for me. Like it was like, what are you doing? Nothing no longer fit anymore.
yeah,
And I started to feel like, okay, well, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, what
right.
is this journey? What is this quest? Because I knew that I could no longer go back to the way that it was prior. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to see where this takes me. Because when you have something like that happen suddenly, you really don't have any concept of time. That's what I'm going to
Yeah,
say. For me, I had no concept of time.
yeah,
So I'm like, I'm just going to go where I'm led. And I always knew that I was an intuitive. I always knew that I was good with speaking with people. People would come to me and ask me, what do you think about this? And get advice and things like that for me. So I started on this journey of, okay, let me heal me first and allow myself to accept who I am, the gifts that I have. And as I started to do that, I started to, get mentors and going through Reiki and becoming a Reiki master practitioner. And then going more in depth with like the Akashic records and things like that, I understood that my calling was to heal people not only with my voice but with my hands, but to also help people step out into their authentic self and become aligned with their purpose and what they're called to do. So um, that's a lot in a short period of time, but it did take me a little bit to get there because that awareness part, it hit me pretty hard, right?
Yeah.
And then, after that, you start to move into, you know, how do I how do I show up as this person? Like
Right. Right.
everyone
Yes.
has seen me as this other person.
Yes.
How do I say, no, this is who I am, So
Yeah.
this journey of, masking is a big part of why we kind of stay in the loop.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, so I'm listening to your story and I'm like, so, like, did we have a parallel? Because no, honestly, because my awakening came out of my grandmother. Like, she went to a doctor's appointment that turned into a hospital stay that turned into a terminal diagnosis, right? And that shook my whole entire world.
Yes.
And it made me I had to do that same thing of like rebuilding and coming back out of it, and I didn't want to come out the way I went in. And
Yes.
so, I know this is going to be a rich conversation because I want the people that are the before of that story, right, to
Mhm.
really lean in because I know for myself, and I feel comfortable saying for you, my mission is that you don't have to go through that to
Exactly.
have the awakening, right? And that you realize that you can unmask, like you said, without having a tragedy or
Happen.
like, a huge life event tied to it. So I'm calling you now to lean in, right?
Yeah.
And I definitely want to pick up from where you ended with unmasking. So can you lean in a little bit more to unmasking and what that looks like, and how are we masked right now?
Yes, unmasking is those like areas of your life where you have to prepare or perform before you can enter in a space or go somewhere. You have to um not be yourself. And that's heavy over time. I call it in the CEO Chronicles, where you're wearing all this armor. And over
Mhm.
time, the armor gets heavy, and
Yeah.
then you start taking it off or it starts to fall off. But we mask in so many ways because we're kind of conditioned as well. Like, there are certain things that you grew up on or people you were around or sayings that were in your family. And you're like, no, I can't show people who I am because I have to be this because we
Right.
weren't allowed to be this.
Right. Right.
Right. So the mask becomes heavy because now you have to add other things on the mask in order to either be in the room or, go places. And after a while, the reason why I do like to call it like the unmasking is because once the awareness comes in of, hey, this is not even me. Like I really don't even like to go those
Right.
places or do
Right.
those things. And then you start to ask yourself, then why am I doing it?
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
When you said that, it made me think about a conversation I had recently. And I was talking about an event and I was talking to somebody that was a potential speaker, and she said, well, who's the audience? Right.
Mm,
And I said, well, in this particular event, I'm not necessarily, there's certain events that I feel like is Black safe space, and that it is what it is. I said, in this event, that's not the tone, right?
mhm.
But my mantra now is I don't care who shows up. I'm not changing the radio station.
That's
I'm
powerful.
just gonna show up. This
Mhm.
is this is it. And I think that it's kind of, I'm an analogy girl. It's kind of like when you get home at the end of the day and you take that bra off.
Ah,
Once it's
yeah.
off, you're not about to put it back on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's how I feel about like masking. Like, once you get the courage and go through that journey of taking it off, it
Mm-hmm.
is very difficult to put it back on.
Yes.
And so you just start being, right? Like you just start existing without that, like you said, weight
Without the weight.
of,
Mhm.
now I gotta put the Spanx on. I gotta do
Yeah.
to this and I
Yeah.
gotta do to that to
Mhm.
look a certain way, as opposed to just showing up.
Yes. And it's hard because, there's so many expectations,
Yes.
but again, like you said, like once it comes off, it's like my grandmother used to say, once the cat is out the bag, you can't put the cat back in.
Right,
Like
right,
cat is all the way out. So you have, now the choice of, in your mind, you're like, well, do I go back? But you can't. So the
mm-mm.
only way is forward. So you start to really take those baby steps forward, and start to, like, if people don't want to come around, or they don't understand who you are, then that's fine, because the mission for you is now to operate in who you are authentically, your highest, truest self,
Right,
right? So that you can now speak and activate someone else to do the same thing. I
right.
believe our words are activations. I believe that we are here
Absolutely.
to activate the next being so that they can now go and activate someone else. So if I'm not showing up as that person that I'm supposed to be, then the mission in my mind is at a standstill,
Right, right. Right,
right? So,
because I feel like it gives the freedom, right? Like, um the episode, like one of the recent episodes that I did, like solo episode, I was talking about how, and this may be a controversial thing to say, but we always talk about like financial freedom. But
mhm.
I think that the freedom to just be and be yourself is greater than financial freedom.
Yes, because I believe that the financial freedom comes when you start being
Yes,
yourself.
absolutely,
I
because you
mean,
start to attract what is meant
yes,
for you.
what is meant for you.
And
Hmm.
you and but like I love how you said about activating the next person, because then you give that person a freedom. When they see you being you, it gives them the freedom for them to be themselves. And that's what we need to see more of, I believe, in this world. Like people
Right.
just really being comfortable in
Hmm.
their own skin. But one of the things you touched on was like, you lose people, right? So you definitely, I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you. You're gonna lose some people.
Oh yeah,
You're gonna
yes,
lose some people
yes,
because some people weren't meant for that version of you, right? So
right.
you're gonna lose some people, but I found that the people that I've gained
Hmm.
have, like that has been next level. Like just when I'm being my true self, the people that were for me couldn't find me because I wasn't being me.
Yes. Hmm.
And so I just want to like give people hope in that, because I think a
Right.
lot of times when we talk about growth, we always talk about what people lose,
Hmm.
but there also are such great gains.
Yes. You start to build a relationship, of family, a tribe, a network of people who resonate with you, who are attracted to you. And then they are able to now say, hey, you know what? Like you said, you're doing it and I can do it too.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that that's a beautiful part of it. Another thing that I've been thinking about a lot is how when we're masking, we attribute, and we know that there's history to that, right? We
Mhm.
attribute the masking to lived experiences, right?
Okay.
In the sense that you know we have been told we have to show up, especially as Black women, we have to show up this way, we have to, but that it turns into whitewashing.
Hmm.
And I think that sometimes we are that thought process is our own enemy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
Hmm.
in the sense that I guess how do I want to say this? Like there was a time that in many years ago, an experience that I had where I started entering spaces with, even though I know this to be true,
Hmm.
I'm operating otherwise until I'm told different. So I'm saying that to say sometimes we enter spaces with our history,
Hmm.
and our history may not be accurate in that situation. So because we've, experienced biases in the workplace in the past, now we show up as a muted version of ourselves to avoid that.
Hmm.
But that may not be the situation that you're in the moment, and now you're not you in
Right.
that situation.
Hmm. I resonate with that. So there's like a practice that I did many years ago because in the workplace it was similar to that. And I would just take a few minutes before I walked into any room and spoke to myself and say, when you walk in here, you are who you are and show up in that type of energy no matter what. This is a practice being authentic. First, like I said, the awareness piece, we have to be truthful with ourselves. We have to
Ooh,
really
yes.
really honestly be truthful with ourselves and understand that yeah, I am acting like this, and now it's time for me to, step into the next stage of being authentic and saying, you know, I don't care if this person, place, or whatever, that they don't like it. But we have to continuously embody and talk to ourselves and reaffirm within ourselves that this is who we are.
Yeah.
And your inner being, your higher self, your spirit, your inner guidance will confirm that for you, because you will walk in that room and it will be so light for you.
Mm,
Things will just
yes.
flow right off your tongue. You'll
Yes.
have these amazing conversations and
Yes.
you won't think anything of it. You'll be in flow, the
Yes.
alignment stage.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally like I said this to somebody and it kind of like jumped a little bit when I said it. I don't prepare for things anymore. And I didn't mean it like as literally as they took it.
Mhm.
Yes, I do my due diligence. I there's a certain part of me that's a planner and is going to always be a planner, right? But the way that a previous version of me would think and overthink and triple overthink every scenario.
Yes. Yes.
Now I'm just like, do kind of like when you walk out the door, keys, wallet, like
Mhm.
I'm like, do I have my basics? Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And I don't, like we're having this conversation today. I have like a short list of notes, and that's
Mhm.
only to like in case we get stuck, and I don't think that's gonna happen. But it's just, come in and know that as long as you're being truthful,
Mhm.
it's gonna flow.
Exactly.
And being good with that, and that it doesn't have to be perfect,
Mhm.
but it's just I love how you talked about the lightness of it, because I definitely, as a person that suffers with anxiety and has a little bit of control issues and it can be an overthinker. It is such a light feeling on the other side of this, of just knowing that how I am is good enough.
It's good enough. And when we start to layer all those things, like you said, if we're just looking for the keys, the wallet, we need to get out the door, we are able to hear and listen to our intuition a
Yes.
lot more clearly. When we're
Yes.
thinking about, does the dress look right? Is the shoes with this? And who's going to be there? And what am I going to say as soon as I get there? we have totally shut down the inner being of hearing the experience
Right.
of the day or where you're going. So the lighter, the better, the more clearer you're able to hear your intuitive nudges or messages and things like that. So we need to get to a point where we allow ourselves to be free with receiving the
Yes.
information that's being downloaded to us.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. And when you were saying it out, the thought that came into my mind is you can't mess up what's not scripted.
You can't.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's where the mess up happens and where people stumble because you get up there and you're so tied to what you rehearsed.
Yes. Mhm.
And when the one thing goes wrong, then everything kind of starts to spiral. Whereas if you are, like you said, listening to your intuition and you are present, like I think we've lost the idea and concept of being present in a space.
Yeah.
And if you're present, you can flow with it, much better because you know what you know. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as your knowledge, it's there.
Right.
It's just, allowing it to have space.
Have space to flow naturally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the authenticity stage. That's the flow state. That's the here I am state. This is what I know and I'm able to pour and use into you state. It's like I don't need to, go and try to look at what someone else is doing and all of those things. It's just something that comes organically. It's your gift.
Yes.
We
Yes.
need to start to operate more in our gifts, more in our purpose, and then we
Yeah.
get to do all the magic.
Yeah, and I see that too, like where it's like there's this kind of cookie cutter of what it means to be a mother, what it means to be a coach, what it means to be, like
See,
everything has this like again script that, you're supposed to follow. And I was having a conversation earlier this week and somebody was talking about, them getting sucked into whatever coach they were working it with at the time and like trying to emulate that person. And they asked my opinion about that.
mm,
And I said, the only person that can order my steps is God. Like, that's the real. Like, and and,
mhm,
and I'm a coach. I love
mhm,
coaches. I
mhm.
work with coaches, but they're just there as guidance. Like
Yes,
you are the commodity. Like you are the thing. Like those are just tips that can help you. Those are, pitfalls you can avoid, but you still have to modify them for you.
for yourself. Yes. Yes. And we are the messengers, right? So when we're tapped in and we're able to receive a download that is for you to share with you and it resonates with you and then you take it and embody it the way that it's best represented for you, then we all are in alignment.
Right. Right.
So it's not like you said, you take my whole model of things, my whole script and all of these things, and now you want to apply it in your business and it doesn't work out. And it doesn't work out is because that was not meant for you. You have to apply your own essence
Right.
and to build your business. So I'm glad you mentioned that because in coaching, I'm a coach too. So, a lot of my clients, they are kind of surprised up front because it's like, no, there's not a bunch of handouts and sheets and documents and spreadsheets and like we're not doing that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take pen to paper. You're going to take your own notes,
That part.
because it's powerful when you write it down, when you know where you're headed. And then, like you said, we are the guides to guide you there.
Right.
We get all of these documents and these pieces of paper and we file it over there. We never go back to it. Well, some of us
Mm-mm.
never go back to it.
Mm-mm. Because it didn't click. But there's some people that really like they like by the letter, like what it said on line 3. What?
Yes.
Girl, what? Like,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
But it's so funny, and that is God and like, flow. Because before you started saying it, I was about to circle right back to the fact that that is also sometimes a good indicator of red flag when you are dealing with, because a lot of times people, as coaches, we get a bad name because they got, in any group, they got bad apples in the bunch,
Hmm.
and we get a bad name because of it. But that is one of the red flags is when somebody is like, this is the way, the truth, and the light. You might want to pack up your
Yeah.
notebook and go ahead about your business, because what I love about what you said is that I'm trying to figure out as a guide for you where you're going.
Yeah.
And that's how I approach things as well. Like when I first started coaching, I have a balloon business, and a lot of people wanted to replicate my success in my balloon business and wanted to come to me for scripts, not coaching, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't mind giving you the script, but you're not me.
Right.
And it's not going to show up as authentic because you're not me.
Hmm.
So let's figure out what you need. And you may not even want to grow the same business as me. My business model is unique.
Hmm.
It's not for everyone. So you that might not be your business model. Now, I'm a strategist, so I can help you figure
Help
out
you.
your
Yeah.
model, right?
Mhm.
Um, I'm saying that let's slow down. That's not what I'm doing in this phase of my life. But I'm just using it as an example. But the point is, a good coach should be guiding you on your journey
Yeah.
because it is specific to you. And I don't have, any two clients that are the same, right?
Right.
Like what
Hmm.
they need, I can listen to you even in group coaching. I'm listening to you, and this is the download God gave me for you,
Hmm.
but he gave me a different download for your sister sitting next to you.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so understand that there's nothing wrong with you if you don't fit the cookie cutter.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to.
Nope. Not at all. Not at all. Your gift and purpose is for you to go and to fulfill the mission. It's not going to be the same as everyone else's. I get this all the time also with soul liberation. It's just, like, well, how do you do it? And it's just like, I'm coming from a spirituality knowing standpoint of understanding of when you operate in your purpose, everything is in flow.
Right.
There's no hustle or push and pull or changing every couple weeks to something else because you saw it. You know that this is for you.
Yeah.
And the signs show up. Clients show up. More people are attracted to you. You feel lighter. You don't have to even wait for a bunch of signs to know that you're operating in your purpose.
Yeah. Not like you know. And sometimes, I mean, I in this season it's light. I'm gonna be 100. When God first was like, "Girl, come here," I was like, "You sure?
You say you
Are
sure?
you? Are you?" I don't feel like I heard you. Let me go back over here where I was and mind my business, because there is a part of it. I think that, purpose work comes with um a great balance of excitement and fear.
Yes. That's yes. Yes.
A great balance of excitement, because it's the level of responsibility. Like when God, it's a reason, like we always say, God, I wish I could see the plan, right? It's
Hmm.
a reason he don't show us, because we don't have the capacity to process it.
Hmm.
Because when he gives you those glimpses, those clear looks,
Yeah,
it's like, you want me to do what now?
I know. Yes.
Like me, they got a lot of people named Danielle. It might be a different, check the list again. Like, because there is a high level of responsibility that comes with walking in your purpose work. And like for now, I mean, I still have, I'm not gonna act like I don't still have moments of fear. I still do.
Mhm.
But now it is a little more tilted to the lighter part of it, because as much as I'm like, wow, this is a big thing that you're asking of me, God, I also fully understand what you're saying about the whole tapping and igniting the next person. And so when God gives you that feedback, because he'll give you those glimpses when he know you're trying to go back in the corner.
Yes.
He
Mm-hmm.
when he gives you that feedback from those lives that you have impacted,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like, man, like if I don't do the thing I'm supposed to do, I'm letting these people
Mm-hmm.
down. And I have to take it on and like walk in it. But it's so beautiful in it.
Yeah. It's so fulfilling. I
Yes.
mean, and I don't even like to use the word outcome because it's a continuous journey, but
Yes.
you get to see how beautiful the transformation is,
Yes.
not just in yourself, but through other people.
Yes.
And you're 100% right when you say about the purpose is like so much bigger and scarier and the
Yes.
fear,
Yes.
because never in a million years would I have thought I would be doing what I'm doing today. When I saw the glimpses of me talking to people, I was like, nope, not doing that.
I'm gonna put it to you like this. The full circle moment for me. I was talking to my cousin, and me and my cousins grew up like siblings. Like we were together every single day of our lives. And he said, "So wait, you doing public speaking now? Like, huh?" And I started laughing. So prior to like when I was little, up until I was like 6 years old, I didn't talk to anybody else but my mom. To the point that like the school thought I couldn't talk and had me evaluated and all this other stuff like that. And it wasn't until my mom passed when I was like 6, that I started talking to other people. And they were like, huh? And then even then I was quiet. I've always been very quiet, very reserved. So like to have a podcast and be a public speaker and do all these like very public things, I'm like, God, I think you mixed my file up with somebody else's file. Like, what
Yeah.
happened?
And
But
that's a glimpse too. And that's another way, like if someone is kind of trying to find out, like, hey, like what is the purpose or where are the areas where I'm masking? You do get those glimpses of you doing something, and you're just like, oh, yeah, no, that's the thing.
yes,
That is it, because it's going to come full circle every now and again until it's like, okay, let's course correct you a little bit.
right, right. Oh,
Let me,
he coming back. He
right
coming
there.
back. He just
Yes.
gonna run the block. He coming back.
Yes.
He coming. I will tell you. I will be 100% honest. I got here kicking and screaming the
Mhm.
entire way. He's coming back. Like he's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm serious. This is what you're gonna do, and he'll give it to you in little baby doses at first.
At first, yeah, and
Then when you keep
they turn
hitting
up the pace.
ignore, he like the snooze button. You can keep hitting snooze. It's coming
If you
back in
want to.
15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a journey, but it is possible. And I love, the idea of tapping another person. I'm a big believer of community, right?
Mhm.
And so being in community with other women that are going through that same journey, that, can call you out and can be like, Girl,
Yes.
girl, come
Yes.
on, we going."
Yes.
We go. We might not both be going to the same destination, but girl, if you don't get in this car and ride to the airport with me, we are going
Yeah.
forward because we need that support as well. I think a lot of times you see other people doing things and you assume they good.
Right.
But we still need the support, the encouragement, the little random,
The
text
accountability.
messages, girl, you doing it, or
Mhm.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
still need that. We need that, for ourselves and for each other. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just love that you've built a whole community around that. So, I
Yes.
talk a little bit more about your community and what you're doing in that regard.
The Be Her Now energy community, I absolutely love it. This was something else that was put on my spirit because I used to be that person so long ago, hiding in the back, not allowing my voice to be heard. I know I wanted to do things, but wasn't doing those things. And then as I evolved in, entrepreneurship and doing what I'm doing right now, was on my spirit, like, hey, you know what? There needs to be a space for the CeCe back then because I
Right.
know there's so many other people
Yes.
who's experiencing this right now. So I created the community to have this supportive accountability space and also a space where we can say the thing that we want to do.
Right.
You can
Right.
start to get in the habit of saying, what do you want? What is
Right.
it that you want to accomplish? What is your destiny? If this is your purpose, how are you going towards it? And we can't say that all the time. Some
Mm-hmm.
people are still not there yet. They're in the
Yeah.
awareness and they just need a little bit more to start to operating and where their destiny is taking them. So the Be Her Now energy community is all about that. It's self-paced, it's no judgment there. However, it is accountability. You said you're going to do this. Okay, well, when we doing it? Okay, what's the date?
Right.
Right. Okay.
Everybody know I'm that friend. Like I have friends that will be mid-sentence and stop. They were like, no, because you're gonna make me do this if I said you never already started. You might as well finish it. Come on, we about to.
We're
But
about to do it.
there's such power in saying the thing out loud because I think, I know for me, some of the downloads that God gave me because ain't nobody else heard them. I could just sit in the corner, act like I ain't hear it either.
Mhm.
There's some power in saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Um, Believing that it could be a thing, right?
Yeah.
Um, Also, sometimes you may not see yourself for who you are. Like,
Mm.
I have my book sitting behind me, and in the book and in my cohort, I've coined the term worth dysmorphia.
Mm.
We don't see ourselves the way that like the people closest to us see us, right?
Right.
And I use the example of when I was looking for a job. I was at my job, I was ready to leave, and I was looking for another job. And I'm applying, and I'm like, so I had a coworker say, send me your resume and your cover letter. He chopped that up,
Mm.
sent it back to me. I was like, who is this
Dude, is
lady?
that me?
And he was like, that's you.
Mm.
And we don't always see ourselves and see our worth in the same way that people outside of us do. So sometimes just the sheer fact of saying, I want this thing, you will have all of the support pour into you because you're like the people closest to you probably saw that thing for you well before you did.
Exactly. Exactly. My husband says that to me all the time. He's like, I've been told you. I told you that, you're going to be speaking and you're going to be coaching. And he did. And he did. And it's just like, okay, thank you.
Right.
See
But I mean,
now.
in my group chat, they be planning so many different things for me. And I'm like, what? And it's so funny because I'm starting to see those things come to fruition, but it's like I'm just trying to get my toes wetted where I'm at. And y'all already done planned this next thing, but they see it when I'm still trying to process sometimes.
Right.
People around you see it, but a lot of times we're not even sharing with the people closest to us
Yeah.
what we feel on the inside.
Yes. I just did an exercise in the community and to your point where we don't see, who we are or our own power and other people around us can pick up on it. And I asked the ladies in the community, I said, what's one thing that you're calling in this year? We're not hoping or desiring or wishing. What are we calling in? You have to change the language as well
Right, right.
as calling your power in. And I said, whatever that thing is, since everyone is into AI and ChatGPT and
Mm-hmm.
things like that, I said, so just upload your picture and a picture of you in ChatGPT, and then ask ChatGPT to use your photo and place the thing that you say that you are doing or becoming, put you in that space.
Right.
Download it, drop it in a community, and then I want you to take it and put it as a screensaver on your
Yes.
iPhone.
Yes.
That is you. That is you
Yes.
already doing the thing.
Yes, you have to be able to see yourself. Yes, I love
Yeah.
that. I love that exercise because you need to be able to see yourself.
You have to see yourself.
Like one of the things that I do a lot with my clients when I'm working with them with confidence, I need you to have a power pose like on your screensaver, hanging on your wall, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
because when you're having doubt, you need to see that lady.
You need to see that. Yes.
You need to see that lady because whatever that lady was doing in that moment,
Mm-hmm.
she was feeling herself.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to be able to see that. But I love that exercise as well because you need to visualize it.
Visualize it.
And I think that we do get caught up in that can't be me, right?
Mm.
And we
Yes.
spend a lot of time in that can't be me.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to find ways to shorten that time.
Yes.
like like shorten the time from this is a dream to this is a reality.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of that is more mindset than work.
Yes. Yes.
It's not because I could run you down the steps. We like you said, we could plug in the chat GPT. What are the steps to becoming
Mm-hmm.
this? And they could give you a daily task of how to do that thing. But it's the mindset of believing and
Yes.
seeing yourself as that end product
Yes.
and that
Yes.
that gets you there because a lot of times that thing it wasn't even as like
Mm-hmm.
crazy as you thought. Like I always tell people when they do their like intentions for the year, make sure
Mm-hmm.
you put something real crazy on there. And I find that the crazy ones be the ones that happen first. Like the ones that's simple, like those
Yeah.
ones they'll come, but
Mm-hmm.
it's always like the wildest thing. Like when I look back over like years, past years intentions, I'm like, when I wrote this down, this was insane.
Mm-hmm.
But it happened,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 6 months later, maybe a year later, but it
But
happened.
it happens. Yes.
And I didn't even believe that it was I believed it enough to write it, but I didn't believe it enough that it was going to be anytime in the near future.
Mhm. Yeah.
But
Understand.
we got to start that process
Yeah.
of putting the belief behind it, putting and dealing with what makes us think we can't.
That. Yes. Understand why do you think like do that exercise? Why not me? We can go
Right.
through the 5 whys, 10 whys, 20 whys, whatever it is till you get to the end result. But we have to have that authentic moment, that awareness, that honesty with self as to, where's this coming from? Why am I believing that
Right.
I cannot do this thing? But when you're operating in your purpose and you do these exercises that I ask my community to do, these are the breadcrumb validations of
Yes.
yes, you will be speaking on stages, you will be writing
Yes.
books, you will be
Yes.
doing this thing,
Because
because you're operating from a place of alignment within self. You're not just
yes.
calling in random things. Random things will come in, but watch how fast they leave.
Right. Because they weren't aligned. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that the randomness often acts as a distraction from the purpose. And so not only are you putting your energy into these random things, but a lot of times they don't come to fruition because they were never meant for you.
Right.
And then it messes with your psyche because then you're like, well, I tried this thing and
Mm,
it didn't work. But it may not, it's not, it didn't work because it wasn't for you. It wasn't that
right.
it didn't work because you can't accomplish things.
Mm,
That thing just wasn't in alignment.
right. Right. Mindset is big. And as coaches, I mean, I know you know this as well. We need to spend more time
Oh,
on
yes,
it. And
Jesus. Yes,
sometimes there
Jesus.
are people who just they don't want to spend time in that area, but that is the most crucial time where we should spend before we start trying to call in anything,
Yes.
because the mind is so powerful, you will resort right back to the old thing. This is
Yes.
why purpose is so crucial
Yes.
and powerful for you, because when you're operating in that, there is no going back. You're not
Mm-mm.
going back.
Mm-mm. You could be trying to mind your business as much as you want, but it's gonna still come like before we started, we were talking about the new year and slowly entering into the
Yeah.
new year, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm minding my own business, and almost every group that I went into, almost every conversation that I had, I was like, so guys, you're gonna have me sitting here coaching like when I said I was off. Like, it just comes to
Yeah.
you,
Mm-hmm.
it just flows to you. It's magnetic, and it's
Right.
just is
Mm-hmm.
what it is. But I don't even want to halfway gloss over what you said about like mindset, because mindset is so important,
Yeah.
but we avoid it. Like, it's like the broccoli on the plate. You need that fiber. We first of all, we get into some good old ages now. Now we we can't keep playing like we, 25. Like we
Right.
we we
Right.
need some things in
Right.
our lives, even
Mm-hmm.
more so as we, start to mature. And is we I mean, the way that we'll sit here and join 50,000 programs
Oh,
and run in the other direction because then people made us try to think about our thoughts. Like,
yes. Think about our thoughts. And they're like, no, it's nothing wrong with my thoughts. Mm.
yeah, we got it. You have to get it. Look, again, I throw myself under the bus if y'all ain't ready to be real and own your stuff. Sometimes the problem is you. It just
Yes.
is.
Yes.
It is. There've been a many a times where I didn't sat down and sat in the mirror and was like, so yeah, so it's you, girl. It's you right there in that mirror.
Yeah.
We gotta do better at this. And
Yeah.
like,
And that's that, yeah, that's that awareness. That's that
you
truthfulness with self.
sometimes you just gotta own that is, I need to operate differently. um with awareness comes discovery, right? So, like all of my programs have some sort of either, so I have one program where the first phase is awareness and the other program the first phase is discovery. So
Okay.
just,
Okay.
the alignment that is on this call, like,
Right.
just
Right.
let's start there. But in that process, a lot of times there are things that you are carrying from many years ago
Yeah.
that are impacting how you show up today.
Today. Yes.
But you don't want to go back
Mm-hmm.
and process those things. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to keep showing up and it's going to keep following you. And you're going to be it's like you on repeat.
You're on this loop. I call it the loop de loop,
Yes.
because you
Yes.
just keep going up and then coming back down and going, and then it's no movement, no traction. You're just stuck in your own thoughts and you're not moving anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you have to be able to really sit down
Mm-hmm.
and, again, I'm an analogy girl. You got to get in that mirror butt naked and just deal with everything that's there.
It's there. Yeah. I love this. I so love this because we do mirror work in my community. We call it mirror work, mirror challenge, whatever you want to call it, mirror gazing. It's the same thing. It's getting in front of that mirror and allowing that reflection to speak back to you in a way where you can identify them thoughts that are coming up, and you can change those thoughts to be something different. But until you get in that mirror and see yourself for what it really is, you're going to continue
You're
to
not
be
going to
stuck.
be mm-mm. So in the Capable Confident book, I talk about um figuring out, because it touches on imposter syndrome and confidence and all of that. And I talk about figuring out, we always talk about we have imposter syndrome, we have doubt. We don't talk about what is it around. Like,
Mm.
one, what is the voice saying?
Yes.
Specifically.
Yes.
Because uh, I have to help you as a coach to clap back. If we don't know what she's saying,
What is she saying? Yes.
how do we clap back at her? I can't, I don't know what to tell her because I don't know what she's telling you.
Right.
So we have to know what she's saying so we can have that, so that we can speak back to that voice.
Yes.
Whose voice is it? Because it might not even be yours.
Not be yours. It might be the voice of the person who projected something on you that you're hearing.
And is she telling the truth? And I could answer that when she lying.
She's lying.
She's lying.
She's lying. That is that is not even the truth. I would say mirror work is the most powerful practice that you can ever do. And you have to keep doing it.
Yes. Oh no. You have to do it over and over again, but it's about one like getting the root of things so that you have that information,
Yes.
but also you build the tools and the way to get out of it, right?
Right.
So that you when it does come back,
Hmm.
before you let her talk and she just was just owning it.
Hmm.
Now you like, look, first of all,
Hmm.
yesterday I did X, Y, and Z. What you're not gonna tell me is today I can't do this.
Right.
Now you have the tools and the language to be able to clap back at her. But again, you until you know what is being said, what is, where your mindset traps are,
Right.
you're not gonna be able to address them, but you're not gonna be able to do that until you be able to get in that mirror and be honest. Cause
That's the mask. That's the masking.
cause
That's
you ain't hurt nobody by lying to yourself,
no one else but
but
you.
you.
And keeping yourself stuck in your thoughts. And also, it's just not healthy to see
Mm-mm,
yourself in a way that's not true for self. Also,
mm-mm,
and that suppresses your inner guidance, your intuition, your ability to have clarity, your ability to be in rooms where you can use your voice.
mm-mm. It's just it's it becomes a sad space because like there's some people that I know that like have committed to it.
Yeah.
And it's like it's really sad to see because there are moments when there's like the person doesn't want to be there,
Hmm.
but they also are not willing to do the work to
Hmm.
not be there.
Yeah.
And as a coach that breaks our hearts, like
It
because it's
does.
like
Yeah, it
I
does.
I know how to lead you out, but if you don't want to stand up, we can't
Right.
go.
Exactly. Yeah, and you're right. It breaks our hearts as coaches because we see the other side of that because we've
Yes,
been there. So we just need to get you to come on over to the
right,
other side.
right. Like right now, all I need you to do is stand. Like if you could just stand on your feet,
Yeah.
then we could take two steps. But
Hmm.
it's like sometimes just that standing is
Hmm.
hard, and especially if you've been so deeply ingrained in
Right.
this is just what reality is.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful. Yeah, because we if we continue to operate in that space, right, then we get that very hard uh redirection.
Yes.
So something else comes into our
Look,
field
look.
because it's just like, okay, you're not standing up and you
No,
need
I'm about
some
to take the
assistance.
chair.
Yeah.
I'm about to
And
take the
that's what I
chair.
teach. It's just like, do we want to identify these things now or do we want to have the tower moment?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, I know I did not enjoy when the chair got taken out.
Yeah, yeah. No. But you come to a space within your journey, even with the tower moment or whatever happened to us to have our spiritual awakening, you come to a space, at least for me, I said, I would have never done or be doing the thing that I'm doing right now if that thing would not have happened. I
Right.
believe I would have continued to operate in what someone else wanted for me you know,
Right.
the job, the career, the car, the children, the house, that I would have continued to stay there
Right.
if this didn't happen.
Yes.
So sometimes that course correction that we receive is for you to operate in the mission.
Yes.
There's so many people waiting on you. There's
Right. And
so
and
many people.
look, the Lord said the line getting long, so you don't seem like you moving. So let me let me move you.
Remove it. Oh goodness. Oh, this is
Yes.
so
No,
good.
yes. Oh goodness, yes.
So good. Yeah.
But what I've realized now, like, because I've definitely still had those nudging moments
Mhm.
in this journey, what I'm realizing now is when the rug got pulled from under you, it felt abrupt, right? The first time.
Mhm. Yes.
Now I'm like, you was probably just pushing me a whole bunch of times before that, and I was not paying
And
attention
I
at
was not
all.
paying attention. I
And like
wasn't.
now I'm like, I feel the nudges. I'm like, okay, all right, the Lord, I'm getting up right now. Don't pull this chair. Don't pull this chair. I
You
am
feel it.
getting up. But
You
like
feel it.
now you see that it wasn't as abrupt as you thought,
Mm.
but he had to be dramatic because you wasn't listening.
You wasn't listening. And intuitively, you already know. I feel like we already know, as I said on my journey, it started to feel heavy. I
Yes.
kind of felt like it was something else. But
Yes.
I was just like, oh, it's good over here, making good money. I have this and that. But the armor got heavier and heavier,
Mm-hmm.
and the helmet got heavier and heavier
Oh,
from the
Jesus.
mask.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, yeah. Whew. All right. Give me a minute. Look, just had a flashback. Yes. But what I wanted to take from that though, like, because it sounds like it was your experience. I know that it was my experience. I think that sometimes we feel like if our life is good,
Mm,
we don't have any room to want more or different.
mm, yeah. Ooh, that is a bar right there. Because even as you begin to either operate in your purpose or in your alignment or wherever you are in your journey, there's always a next stage to that. And then you'll feel like, I'm doing the thing, I'm right
Right.
here, I'm operating. And it's like, no, 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 you know,
Mm-mm, we're not done yet.
it's
Like, we're
time.
not done.
We're not done yet. So, what I like to say is be comfortable with either the pivot or the next stage.
Right.
It
Right.
isn't as if like you abandon all of this and now you have to go and jump over there. It's just now this is the next stage
Right.
of the mission or the enlightenment or developing more in your purpose or activating more people. Maybe you're good here with the Zoom and everything, but you're supposed to be on stage now,
Right. Right.
you know?
Right. And then like the other part of it like I was thinking about is like some people, I think almost every person that I know that is walking in their purpose prior to that journey had the good job, had the good life, had the good everything.
Mm-hmm.
But if we being 100% honest, did not feel joy and fulfillment.
No, you're right. You're
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Like,
I raise my hand. Yes.
like I'm just saying, like, got the most, loving and supportive husband. My child is, daggone near genius. Like everything is everything. But if I'm being honest, looking back, I was still empty, unhappy, hamster wheeling it, like just we we deserve joy and fulfillment.
Yes, we do.
And that's not being greedy, and that's not saying that we don't appreciate the positive things that are happening in our lives. But if you're not experiencing that in the realm of joy and fulfillment, then you're not aligned.
Mhm.
You're
Yeah.
not aligned. Something is misaligned. And bringing it back to when we were just talking about, like, masking, like in the workplace or in, certain spaces,
Mhm.
and that fear of unmasking, right? The unmasked you may show you that you are in spaces you don't belong in. Like, we got to be good with that too. Like,
Right.
maybe that good job ain't where we supposed to be.
Right. Right. Yeah, it goes into what we were saying about those things will fall off. People, places, things, jobs, all of family members, I have to say it,
Yeah, no, it's real. It's real. They,
they will
you
fall
acting
off.
funny. You acting different.
Yeah, and you have to be okay with that because the greater good is where the fulfillment is. You know, what lights you up inside, as we said, when we see our clients and the transformation for them and they're out there doing a thing or whatever it is that they desired, and we see them doing that, that's the joy.
Right.
You know, that's when all of that material things start to show up, the
Right.
attraction or the money or wanting more clients. It's that fulfillment that you are, expressing through your heart chakra that is bringing you more energy like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it also, like, just to extend that, like, it becomes a redefinition of success.
Hmm.
Like, my definition of success is not what it used to be. It's not purely based on like a financial metric.
Hmm.
They got a lot of things that I could do to make a lot of money, but
Yeah.
that's not, like you said, those things become attracted to you by you walking in your
Right.
purpose.
Right.
But the way that I look at that as a measure is not the same.
Not this.
Like, it has to be, at this point, I say it's a rubrics. It has to be the combination of things that makes me feel successful,
Right.
not just, oh, well, I got $4 million in the bank. Okay, but if I have to go, do X, Y, and Z for it, or I have to, do things that are just don't feel good in my spirit,
Right.
or that take away from the other things that I value, right?
Right.
Mm,
Right. That's not
that's
success.
not, I don't feel successful in that.
Yeah. But I do think some people there's so much weight that they are carrying that they believe that the monetary aspect of it is going to take all of that away. And it's not true. It still just gets heavier.
No, I mean, look at what's happening in the world right now. The richest people in the in the whole entire world just wreaking havoc. Like, to me, if money made you happy, you would just be sitting somewhere happy. You wouldn't even be worried about bothering nobody else.
Yes. Yes. When we stop outsourcing our authority and power is
Mm,
when we align with whatever the successful version of yourself is, however, whatever that means for you, because it's different for everyone.
yeah,
But when we continue to think it's over here or it's over there, and it's not, it's within you
right.
that you birth on the outside of you to
Yes,
give to someone else
right.
is where it is.
Yeah, there's no accomplishment or milestone
Mhm.
that's going to bring you happiness.
Right.
It just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like, I've shared this story before, and I read this blog post of this person that had lost 100 pounds, and they were talking about how they went into this whole thing about how they thought their life was going to be once they lost weight,
Mhm.
and then they lost the weight, and they were like, my life was exactly the same as it was,
Mm.
because and they went into, they were like, because I didn't look at what was going to truly make me happy and invest in those things, but I thought that I was gonna lose this weight and I was gonna start
Yep.
being, making more money and I was gonna start making more friends and I was gonna start
Right.
all of these things that they attributed to this accomplishment. You
Hmm.
can't accomplish your way to
Right.
happiness.
No. Yeah, I agree with you. It's a inner being feeling of knowing that you have shared self or shared your gift with someone else,
Yeah, yeah,
which is different, for for everyone. But if you can get to that place, if you can self-identify, if you can, be aware of the things that's in your life right now that's heavy for you and start to look at where you can chip away at those things. Or, I mean, if you a go-getter and can cold turkey all of them at one time, however it works for you, but it's gonna start with you honestly looking and sitting with self and looking at your life and finding those areas where this isn't you. It's
right.
somebody else. It's the representative or whatever name you've given to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think belief, belief and possibility, like those are things that stand out to me a lot because when sometimes when you talk to people, like there's that, like it's almost like brick wall, like this can't happen, like this thing can't change.
Mhm.
And so there's this like deep acceptance of something that really, anything can change, right? Like if you believe that it can and then you work towards that goal. So I think
Right.
also just, kind of like a fact versus fiction thing, going through some of your beliefs and how you are holding yourself hostage by committing to those beliefs.
Right. Hmm. Back to mindset.
Yes, always back to mind. It's
Always back
it's
to
just it's
mindset.
always back to mindset.
Mindset.
Like, um, somebody asked a question in a group one time of like, what is the one thing that you would share with a new entrepreneur or something like that? And my comment was that the journey is so much more about you than it is about the business.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like
I agree with that. Right.
it is it's one of those things that kind of forces you to either, like you said, stay stuck or like you got to figure some stuff out
Mhm.
because there is no one else to blame, rely on, whatever. It is you.
It is you.
It is
Yes.
you. And so it makes you have to look in the mirror at a lot of things. And so yeah, y'all, we gonna always keep coming back to mindset. We gonna
Yes.
like
Yes.
earlier
You.
when I said I'm using this as an example, but I don't really do that much as coaching anymore. I do a little bit in my balloon community, but not a lot anymore because what I realize is when I'm sitting here and I'm coaching,
Mhm.
women leaders and business owners, and I'm like, this ain't the part. Like you asking me about setting up systems and how did you do this and but this is not it. It's you came to me for this, but the real answer is that we got to figure out what's going on with your confidence. You came to me for this, or you need to detox your calendar. Like you got
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
going on, right? So it always was something else mindset related that is really the crux of getting to where you need to get to. Um we didn't say the word alignment like 4 million times, and that is key, because like, just, throwing back out the calendar detox. That's why you're so busy because you're doing a bunch of stuff that's not aligned.
It's not aligned. Yes.
like
And
like
it's
half
not
that
even
stuff.
moving the needle forward. It's just still keeping you stuck every single day, looking at the
Yes,
same task every single day, but in a different flow or different manner. Yeah.
yes. Close some of them tabs. You're not coming back to them because they don't have anything to do with what you're doing. Just close them.
Yes, yes. And I do believe that, energetically, there's a detox there with mindset. And
Yes,
it's also with our aura and cleansing our body and meditating, moving our body, walking,
yes,
what we're eating, taking in enough water, to
yes.
be able to
You know,
connect.
people don't like water.
I I knew someone who didn't drink water. I think she said for like 4 or 5 months she just drank juice or something. And I was like, your kidneys don't hurt.
That
Like
part.
you have to drink water, whatever that means for you. But a lot of times we get stuck in our energetic light body, which we should have a light body because we're not detoxing it enough
Yeah.
or paying enough attention to it or allowing the downloads to come in
Yes.
because we're not giving it the time that it needs. So, whether that's meditation, like I said, or taking a salt bath, or, getting out in nature, grounding yourself, like all of these things are important for you to stay in alignment and stay connected to source or stay connected to, whatever that higher power is for you.
Yes.
You have to connect your light body to that as well.
Yes. And just everything that you said has absolutely nothing to do with your business or your career. Like in a sense of I feel like a lot of times, once you reach a certain point of leadership, definitely entrepreneurs, that becomes your like 100% all the time. And these other phases of your life are not,
Mm.
they're not even thought about, right? And when I talk about balance, I get that eye roll and I get the this and the that and everything else. And I'm like, so the reason why you can't find balance is because you've never devoted time or energy to the other things.
Yes, that part. Yeah.
So, I love that you spoke about that because I was actually about to ask you, like, before we wrap up, to like speak a little bit more about Reiki and all of that, but then you kind of like beat me to
Because
the punch.
it's
But
so crucial. I mean, and I also think when we as a being understand it, what we do in our personal life carries into entrepreneurship in our business.
yes,
So it's not separate. It's all one. So if you're feeling a way over here in your personal life, you're feeling that in your business with that same type of energy.
yes,
So when you make time for you, then you have time for your business.
yes,
So a big component of that for me, like I said, is like I have to go outside. I have to meditate and I do like, salt cleanses or go to salt spas or things like that and spend time alone
yes.
because that's when the downloads come in those funniest, weirdest places. Like I'm
Yes. Oh,
driving
yes.
and I'm like, okay, I'm driving. How am I supposed to write like this down? All the stuff that's coming to me right now.
Right. No, I remember one time I was like, I felt so stuck and I was like, and I went take my dog for a walk. So we go like take a walk. And I mean, like I had been feeling this way for like a couple of weeks. I go take him for a walk. I was like, bruh, like it just all like, and I'm like, I ain't no paper lord. Why would you do this to me? So, but when I got back, I was just in such a different headspace and able
Yeah.
to really, get unstuck, right? And I
Hmm.
think that we think a lot of times, push through, but sometimes you got to pull back, right?
Pull back.
And,
Yes.
you just need to like step away from the
Hmm.
situation as opposed to just trying to like just be stubborn and you just going to thug it out. It's not gonna work.
Yeah,
Like
that's not going to work.
it's not gonna
Not
work.
going to work at all. You can do these practices. They're so easy, but you have to allow yourself, as you mentioned earlier, to be in the present moment. Like
Right.
come out of the past, come out of what the future is about to look like. And, we'll use the example of go outside and walk your dog, paying attention, being more present, looking at the birds, hearing the wind, like all of these things sound crazy to some, but it rebalances the
Yes.
light body, and it allows ourselves to be recalibrated back when we know we're going
Yes.
too far left or too far, right, you can come back to center. You can use I'm a big component of the phone, because the phone, we all are pretty much tied to the hip with the
Right.
phone. So as you're walking, you could use like your notes or the voice record and start saying your I am affirmations or whatever that means to you in your own voice.
Right.
And then play them back. That's you,
Right.
your frequency, saying these things back to continue to raise your vibration. I mean, it's so many things that we can do, but we continue to outsource instead of look within. So
Right.
all of
Right.
my practices are coming from, internal,
Yes.
hearing your voice, being in your own frequency, knowing and feeling when things are off, using your inner guidance as a compass. You don't
Yes.
need anyone to tell you these things. Your signal, your connection to
Right.
source
Right.
lets you know. And the when we tap into that, it will help us understand the journey.
Yes. Yes. And like you say, like, tapping into source, I hope God got a sense of humor, because if he don't, I'm in trouble. But when I learned how to be still,
Mm-hmm.
I started to hear God's voice more clearly, right? And so my running joke is, I said, God, did you get you a new mic? What? Cause you loud, friend. You loud. Like you, but the reality is our lives are so noisy
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that we can't hear.
Yeah.
Because we have so much stuff that's cloud. But when you like peel that back,
Mm-hmm.
because we always are saying, well, God, I need a sign, I God this, or is God listening? He listening, you not listening.
Right.
And you're not putting yourself in space to listen,
Right.
But one thing, one question I want to ask you, and then we gonna wrap up, because we could go because
Okay.
that's the thing about alignment. Now, one thing about alignment is, once you get two people that are aligned together, it's like we can
Yes.
absolutely go. But one question I want to ask you is, for the people, because I get this a lot. A lot of people, and I mean, and I know I went through this myself initially. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, because of the rat race, grind culture and everything that we live in, struggle with learning how to settle themselves. Like something as simple, like I said to somebody one time, I'm like, just sit still for like 5 minutes. It was like 5 whole minutes. Like, so but I mean, there was a time in my life that I probably would have said that too.
Mm-hmm.
But what are some tips that you have for somebody that's trying to get to that space of grounding, get to that space of being able to be still?
Mm-hmm. Wow, this is a good question, because there are so many people who are already addicted to moving. They just pick one thing up and put it over here and sit it here, and they just keep
Yes.
doing that. So if you are that person, and perhaps you are, a scheduler, I know I don't had a client this way. I just had her schedule and block off time during the day to have the stillness, because she was just so addicted to everything being in a plan and on a calendar. So that was the beginning stages until she could ease away with it, away from it, and then do it on her own. But I would say, for those who are not, make it a practice every morning, like at least an hour or two if you can. If you can't, start small. This is what I do. I don't look at phones. I don't do any of those things that's going to take me away from my morning practice. Even if I'm just sitting on the couch with nothing on, no TV,
Mm-hmm.
nothing. You have to come to a space with self to say, I am ready to hear. So this just goes back to that awareness thing. And we were talking about ChatGPT. We can give you all the tools, but if you're not going to practice it and do it, then it's not going to work.
Yeah.
But if you're serious about this grounding and trying to come to this space, then this is for you. Dedicate time. If you can do it in the morning, do it in the morning. If you can do it, whatever breaks throughout the day, do it throughout the day. 5 minutes, 4 minutes, then increase your time. The more you increase your time, the more you receive, is what I like to say. because you get so much more clarity than just the one or two words or the one and two nudges. You start
Yeah.
to put it all together. So if this is someone who is seriously looking to do this, they're going to have to make the time. Put yourself first before the business, the kids, husband, and all of these things. You can carve out 5 to 10 minutes to just go and sit down somewhere and
Yeah.
then just be present.
Yes. I love that. I love that. So you said about the lady putting it on a calendar. So in the calendar detox, I talk about white space and
Mm.
creating white space on your calendar. Because I mean, you look at some people's calendar and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it's a lot of pretty colors, but
And how much of that are you actually completing?
but I'm like also just it stresses me out. Like I love, like, I have, like, Tuesdays I do proposals for my balloon business. So on Tuesdays I go through and I send out proposals and I do my follow-ups and all of those different things. So when I go through and do my follow-ups, now of course, yes, I want everybody to book, blah, blah, blah. When people be like, oh no, we, decided against balloons, or no, we whatever. Man, the
Mhm.
way that I be excited to remove them blocks from my calendar, like, you have to have space,
Yeah,
um s- life happens, and sometimes life can throw your schedule completely off. If it's jam packed,
right.
that is very hard to come back from. Whereas if you have space, you can kind of, you got wiggle room. You're like, okay,
Right.
well, I can pick up, without being overwhelmed. So I love that idea of, like, putting the things, like, if you are that calendar person that you got to put everything on the calendar, make sure you on there.
Exactly.
Make
Count
sure
yourself.
you're on there.
Hmm.
And then I actually started my, like, stillness journey by doing exactly what you said. So I was still working at the time and I was like, like, just, it was a lot. It was a lot I was dealing with. And I started, so I'm a tea girl. I don't like coffee. I love tea. So I started in the morning when I would get to work. I would go put my stuff down, make myself a cup of tea, and I would sit at my desk for 10 minutes.
Hmm.
I might have a notepad if I started thinking about what I needed to do for the day, but outside, like, I wouldn't turn on the computer. I wouldn't look at my phone. I wouldn't talk to anybody for that first 10 minutes. I would sit there, enjoy my tea. If I had, a download, write it down, and then go about my business. And then once I quit the job, I still do that every morning. So I do, first thing in the morning before I do anything else, I say I got to talk to God before I talk to anybody else. So I go and I sit, and me and God have our conversation. Sometimes we take a little nap. And
Yeah.
sometimes my mind wanders, and then next thing I know, I'm sleeping. But but we have that time in the morning before I get into social media, before I get into, like, my work day, that just kind of, like, shapes the day. And like you said, you get the opportunity to get those downloads, and it just, I know that I feel differently on the days that I don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, when I don't do it, I'm like, why is today crazy? And I'm like, oh, because
Oh, because you didn't do that
you
morning
didn't do
practice.
that.
Yes. And even if you forget, it's just like, okay, now's my time to stop right now and do it.
Yes.
Because you're setting time away for Source to speak to you, and Source is looking for that time to speak to you.
Right. You're
So
like,
it's
I
just
got this
like,
message. Could you
I
please
know.
sit still so I could tell it to you?
Yes, that
Like,
part.
why you gotta be like this?
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said too, like, we don't always have to wait for the next day to start over. Even if, like, you're feeling overwhelmed in the middle of your day, sometimes, depending on how you're working, it might be a fast pace, whatever. Don't be afraid, even if it's 30 seconds, to take some
Right.
moments and breathe and, like, really, recenter yourself, right?
Right.
Like, I think that we let things snowball, and sometimes we have to just cut it off at the pass and say, wait,
Mhm.
hold up. That's what
Right.
happened this morning. That don't have to be what happens
Yes, for the
this
rest of the day.
afternoon.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And remembering, like, how you show up for self is how you're going to show up in your business. So
Right.
whatever's happening in that first part of your morning throughout the day, it is definitely going to spill over into your business. So
Yeah.
I would create that space for you and put yourself first. I mean, I do it. I've been doing it for many, many years, and it's like I'm never going to get away from that practice. It keeps me calm, it keeps me grounded. And if there are times when I'm in spaces and I feel like, oh, I should be, my mind is racing, I automatically say, no, I'm not doing anything because
Mm-mm.
now I'm acting out of whatever's going on over here and I don't want to be a part of that. So I bring myself back. So just having the awareness again of
Yes.
knowing when you are not in the space that, is for you.
Yeah. That you like if you feel off kilter, don't keep trying to perform in
Don't
that
get
space. That's
pushed. Yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah.
It's really
Absolutely.
dangerous. You're not gonna make good decisions in
Mm.
that space. I somebody laughed at me out. They were like, "Well, like the world's on fire. What do you do?" I'm like, "I'm going to take a nap." Like, and I'm serious because what am I going to do about the world being on fire? Like, if I'm not literally on fire, I'm right now, I'm going to go take a nap and then I'm going to come back to it with a fresh brain and deal with whatever I have to deal with. But a lot of times, again, we get ourselves all worked up.
Yeah.
Sometimes like a bunch of things happen in short succession and we
Hmm.
get accelerated. And
Hmm.
it's like, no, I can't. I don't want to operate in that space. I can. I've done it before, and I, probably will do it again sometimes when it's like necessary. But I don't. That is not a space that I enjoy operating in. So I am strategic about how I place things so that I don't have to
Right.
move in that way. And sometimes our mind is telling us
Right.
that chaos is happening when it really isn't.
But it isn't. Yeah.
And when you take that breath or you take that nap and you come back to it, you realize, hey, this thing is urgent. Those four other things that happen at the same time are not.
Or not. Yes.
And
And
so,
that's
but
just
they felt
protecting.
like they were all connected because they all happened together,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
But you don't
Hmm.
have the clarity of mind in that moment to see that.
Right. Yes, 100%. It's it's a constant check of self.
Yes,
I have to constantly check in with self to see, where am I or what's going on here, and also receive the message of that as well.
yes,
Detoxing it from all that is going on in the world, like what
yes.
you're seeing on TV and things like that. I mean, obviously, some things you have to pay attention to, but we don't
Right.
need to consume it all day, every day. Social media, we don't need to consume it all
Mm-mm.
day, every day. That frequency is not good for us to continue to
No.
take that stuff in like that. And then also, decluttering your space,
Right.
old clothes, old furniture, things that no longer fit who you are. I
Right.
teach that too. It's like it's time to declutter. You don't need
Right.
that. You don't have any
Right.
open channels to receive. And we're always talking about, I want this or I desire it. And it's just like, well, all your closets are full.
Right.
So
Like where's going?
I don't know where you're putting that.
Where is it going? And I mean, and that like you say, like the declutter, it is all areas of your life. Like, you want to pursue this new project, but you keep saying yes to every project that comes across. You're not going to be able to do the thing that it was aligned with your purpose because you got all these other things
Yes.
you've attached yourself to. So it is like, I know that that's not, we're a consumerism world. So
Yeah.
I know that that's not the messaging that people want to say, but I think it's, one having the clarity, right? And I think the more you practice centering, decluttering, doing all that stuff, the more clarity you get.
Yes.
But having that clarity and then um being able to, stay in alignment and reject what does not because you're still gonna get offered things that
Yeah. Yes.
are
You
not
will.
in alignment, but you have to know, you have to have that discernment to say no, that's not it.
Right.
And I
100.
think it becomes like secular because it's like, again, the more you start to get into it, the more you start to clearly, like somebody person even get the question out good and you like no.
Yeah, you're like,
because
that's not for me. No, thank
because
you.
you already know that it's not a fit. But that still brings us all the way back to awareness.
All the way back to awareness. Yes.
Because you got to know who you are. And I mean,
Yes.
and it's so crazy because I think this is like the fourth or fifth conversation I've had this week about identity and
I did
knowing
it.
who you are, right? You have to know who you are and what your purpose is to even have that discernment and that clarity to say, nah, this is not
Right.
it.
Even with starting a business, for all of those who are looking to start a business, I am seeing with, of clients or past clients where we're starting businesses that we know are not aligned with who we are. It's not even a
Hmm.
thing that we want to do.
No, because somebody said they made $1 million doing fill
And
in the
it
blank.
will save you so much time and money if you not started or went that direction
Hmm.
and just find out what is the purpose first.
Right,
Then venture down into entrepreneurship. The signs will be there, the doors will open, the people will come, the financial backing will come if that is what you need. All of these things will appear, like how they appeared with Soul Liberation when I
right,
decided, like, hey, this is my purpose. And it was so easy. The
right,
flow was so easy.
right.
And, there's so much money that's being spent on, oh,
Trying to fit a square peg in a round hole.
yes, and it's like you don't really need to do that. So if you don't know what your purpose is, just kind of take an inventory of your life for one,
Right,
because then you'll find out where you're masking and what you're running from,
right.
and then
And
creating that
that's the
space.
part right there which you're running from.
What are you running
And
from?
what you're running from is that awareness word. I mean, let's be real, that's what you're running from.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen it where it's like, okay, somebody said this is lucrative, and then they go run and they start this business, and then they not making the money, then they frustrated. 3 months is 3 seconds in the entrepreneurial space. So if you already frustrated at month three, I'm just gonna leave that as it is. You've in that sentence how you want to. But then next week somebody said this is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Every industry has the possibility to be lucrative,
Right.
but it has to do with the amount of work that you're willing to put in to make the thing successful. Most of these people that, are switching from this to this to this, they're stalling at the same point in each thing. And that's the point where that awareness work becomes important.
Yeah.
And you reach the obstacle and then you like, well, this is dumb. And then you go grab something else. No, you gonna be at step three on everything you do
Everything. Yes.
until you do that awareness work. And so if you wanna really take it to the next level, then
Mhm.
you gotta do it.
Yeah. You have
Because
to.
the other part of it is it's dangerous and irresponsible, especially if we're talking about healing and coaching spaces. It
Mhm.
is dangerous and irresponsible for you to take people down a journey when you have not healed.
Yes. So, so true. Yes. And this is the reason why some coaches, there's bad things said about us because they've had these experiences. And I've had, clients come to me who have spent X amount of money and there were no results there. And this is why I say, for me, you start in the Be Her Now energy community, identifying awareness,
Right.
mirror work, cleansing,
Right.
understanding, sitting with self, because, not everyone is ready for the inner guidance work where we
Mm-mm.
go even more deeper. And I'm not going to bring you over there until you have self identified
Right.
in
No, you
the
gotta be ready.
you have to be ready because this is an ongoing journey. It doesn't stop once you figure that one piece out.
Mm-mm. You you gotta sit with yourself for the rest of your life. So
It gets
it
easier once you start operating in the gift, in the purpose.
right, right. But I'm just saying, like, if you think you just gonna be like, oh, I gave you this nugget, and then all of a sudden it's gonna be everything. No,
Right.
no.
Right.
It's more about getting I call it your arsenal of tools. It's more about getting that so
Yes.
that you can then work yourself through
Mm.
any obstacles that come up as you journey, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mindset, y'all. That's all. This beginning and the end. Mindset. We have to work through these things, and it's not. And I know some people like feel like, oh, why do I got to go through all of that or whatever like that? It's actually so beneficial to come out on the other side, to not be plagued with those extra things that you're carrying that are not yours to carry,
Hmm.
and to it's just nothing more freeing than to be good with you.
Yes. No matter what.
No matter what. Like,
It's like,
I
okay.
mean, look, y'all, you could like what I have to say. You could not like what I have to say. You could
Hmm.
like me. You could not like me. I'm all
Yeah.
right with it. I'm good
Right.
with it. You know, because I'm good with me. And I think I think we fear vulnerability.
Right. Because we don't
And
see it enough. And we
mm,
were, or some of us were not taught that either.
mm-mm.
So, but if we look at the world today with social media and all of these things, and I call them illusions because that's what they are, just illusion.
Yes.
That's when here comes the mask on and off. Like you lift up the shade and you put the shade back down and the mask,
Right.
like you just continue to keep doing the same things. So
Right. And
I
it's
hope this year is
like
different for people.
what is it getting you? You know, like I in the book I break down between internal and external confidence.
Mhm.
Because when I first started talking about confidence, I got this kickback. I'm confident. You look cute. You look cute.
Yeah.
One of the gifts that God gave me is that I can see people.
Hmm.
And there's some people that use that power for evil. I use it for good. I see you and I want to speak to the part of you that doesn't believe that you belong, right?
Hmm.
I want to feed that part of you what it didn't get. So you look cute. You I call it cosplaying confidence. You look cute. We've all been there. Well, you have this big thing and you got your makeup, you got your outfit, you got your whole everything. But
Right.
how do you feel on the inside?
Inside. Yeah.
How do you feel on the inside? That's what we need to work on,
Right.
to where you can feel as good on the inside as you look on the outside, and that you're not allowing that voice to stop you
Yeah.
from that purpose work. Because that voice will come for you when you try to get in that purpose work. Look, that heifer come out of hiding. She like, girl, let me tell you something. Remember that time when you tripped over something in the third grade? What if you do that again? Like,
No,
girl,
not
nobody asked you
now.
that. Nobody asked you that.
Exactly, exactly. It's having that dialogue and conversation with the fear. I do
Yes,
it all the time. I teach it in the community as well. It's like, oh, fear is going to do exactly what you said.
right.
It's going to remind you about when you fell off the bike and everybody laughed and all of those things. What we want to do is acknowledge that. Oh, like, oh yeah, I remember when I did that and I fell off, but yeah, you know what? That ain't where I
Like
am
life
right
went
now.
on, and I did a bunch of great
Right.
things
And
since then.
exactly. But some people suppress and make them stop from
Yes,
moving forward.
yes.
And the key to what you and I are saying here is no, acknowledge that.
Acknowledge it. Yeah, girl, I did. And you right, girl. You know what? I might change my shoes. Them shoes was a little too high. I might
Huh?
change my shoes so I don't fall. You right. Go ahead, sit down. Like, cause I do the same thing. I personify all of the like different like anxiety, fear, all those things, and fear's gonna always be with you.
Yeah, especially when you're doing big
And
things.
when you're doing big things, she gonna come out. She gonna
Yeah.
show out.
Yeah,
But guess
absolutely.
what? She can't sit in the driver's seat. Girl, come on. You could go. You got you riding the back.
Mm.
Confidence gonna ride shotgun.
Mhm.
You riding the back. Your only job, fear's only job is to make sure you don't die. That's the only thing that you're responsible for. But you want to talk on other people part of the program, and that ain't your part. Am I gonna die? Okay, no, sit down. Like that's the end of it. Like sit down. I'm not about to die. Anxiety when she do her little report,
Mhm.
girl. What's the things I should be concerned about? Okay, I did that. I did that. I did that.
Mhm.
That is insane. So that's not gonna happen. So now you can have a seat, right?
Yeah,
But it's just being able to, like you said, have a conversation,
have
speak
a
back to
conversation.
it, and just say, you know what, this is
Right.
not what we doing.
And it's not what we're doing, and we're going to continue to move forward. And then as you take them steps, the fear just starts to drop away
Right.
because you're doing the thing now. You're
Right.
not being antagonized in your mind about why you shouldn't do it. Fear is very powerful. I teach on it, but again, we have to be in a space where we are open enough to receive on how to get past these things. I was telling my community the other day, I'm like, 2026 is literally the year of one, new beginnings, and two, authority.
Yes.
What are you in authority of? What is that thing that you know how to do, that purpose where you can stand up and talk about it all day long? Like, this is your space. This is your lane. You run
Right.
this lane. Like, this is the year for you now. After all that work you've done, or if
Right.
you just starting to identify that, this is the year now for you
Right.
to come on out here. We need you. We need you
Right.
out here.
Right. But I think that, and I definitely see this in primarily in Black women. I think that we have been pushed to the back for so long that we don't like, we don't raise our hand when it's the time to raise our hand. You know what I'm saying? And like I was at a meeting the other day, and I'm sitting next to a lady, and she kind of interjected. It was a panel discussion, but she kind of interjected because she had some experience with what they were talking about. And so after it was over with, I was like, "Well, girl, you should have been up there on the panel." And she was like, "No, no, 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 ma'am.
Mhm.
Most of the insight of this whole conversation came from what she said." But
Yeah.
she, like, when I said that, it was an immediate shrink back, and I was like, "Oh no, not on my watch. We not doing."
Yeah.
She said, "So the coaching you gonna bully me into?" Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because that's
But
what
we
it's
have
doing.
to. I think we don't think that we're ready unless we're over 100% ready,
Hmm.
and we got to get that out of our heads.
Right.
Like, we are further along than we think.
Then we think we are. Yes.
And we need our voices to be heard in a conversation, because loud and wrong, they have every type of microphone, megaphone, platform that you could ever imagine.
Yeah. Hmm.
But the people whose voices need to be heard are the people who most want to be in the background.
The back. Yeah, that was
And I'm
me.
like, if you don't get up here and talk, because I'm tired of listening to people who don't know what they're talking about, say things, like,
Right.
we have to balance that out a little bit better, because um and I think part of it is that we are cautious about what we say and how we say it, in a lot of ways, because we don't want to be joined the loud and wrong
Right.
community. But yeah, we have to speak
Right.
up.
And this is why community, and is so important, and
Yes.
being around people that will, push you and show you like, hey, go ahead, say this, and be
Right.
supportive, because we need more and more people standing in their truth and operating in their purpose. And I
Yes.
say it just ultimately raises the vibration on planet
Yes.
Earth. It allows
Yes.
us to now see that everything is not all negative. Everything is connected. If you give more of the negative side, you get more of the negative side.
Correct.
So we want to really focus on being that best version of self
Yes.
and helping other people do the same exact thing.
Yes. And it doesn't have to be perfect.
No. Or hard and all these other things that they
No.
have
Just show up and
labeled us or things to be.
yes, it just show up, and just, like you said, just allow your authentic self to flow.
To flow
Just
out,
show up, and because we waiting on perfect, and the ship is passing.
passing.
It is
Yes.
passing. So just show up. It is perfect for who it is for.
Yes.
It is
Yeah.
perfect for who is waiting for your voice, and they
Yeah.
ain't got time to wait for you to spell check it and do all of the other things. They just need you to get out there and you know what I'm saying? Like they just need it. They need
Yeah.
it. It doesn't have to be 100% polished.
Right.
You could polish that up as you go, but it needs to be
Right.
received. And I have a whole thing about, perfectionism is the ultimate form of procrastination.
Mm. Yeah, and that's definitely true. That Virgo and Capricorn in me, many, many years ago, it had to
I'm
be
a
structured.
Capricorn.
Yeah, yes, hey. It had to be polished and structured and all of these things. And then again, that's where the weight comes from. That's where the mass comes from, all of
Right.
those things. That's what I'm saying. Think about what's
Ooh,
heavy for you right now. And wherever that
yes.
heavy is, then you're going to identify, oh, okay, because I'm not operating either in my purpose or I'm trying to be someone else that, I'm not called to be. So, I wish for everyone who is listening here to really, really find a piece of this that activates them.
Yes.
What set it off for you? Because
Yes.
that's your initiation. That's
Yes.
you.
It,
That's
it's
for you.
time to move. Look, we didn't pulled away all of
Yes.
everything that could be holding you back. It is
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
time
It's
to
time.
move and to fall back in love with you.
Yes. Fall in love with you. I love
Because we could sit up there and critique ourselves to death.
that. Yeah, we know how to do that very well.
But fall in love with you, and every version of you, right? Because it's like some people, oh well, they hate themselves because they're like, oh, I need to lose weight. Man, look, I love myself in every iteration.
Hmm. Hmm.
Loving yourself takes you much further than hating yourself because if, like let's say it is weight loss, if you love yourself, then you will do loving things for yourself, right? So that includes doing things that makes your body feel better, as
Hmm.
opposed to, you just like fighting with your whole, your whole spirit. You like, oh, I hate it. Oh,
Right.
don't bring that
Right.
energy in here.
Hmm.
We want to love ourselves and we want to continue to do loving things in our lives, and allowing ourselves to be, I think, is the most loving thing that you could do.
Right. And if you're someone who thinks that um what you have to offer or your purpose or is saturated or it's too many people doing this and too many people doing that, I am here to tell you that everything has infinite possibilities. Those
Absolutely.
people can't do it like you can. Their
Right.
purpose is not your purpose. I get it. People who come to me and they just stop because they feel like someone else is already doing it. And it's like, you're not doing it.
I mean, let that go. Be like you said, let that go because uh, how many barbecue joints they got in your city?
Tons.
How many hamburger joints do they have in your city?
So many.
You know what I'm saying? But everybody got their favorite spot.
Yes.
Like I'm in New Orleans. It's king cake season. They got about 400 different types of king cakes, and they all here, and they all selling, and everybody got their favorite
Right.
that they enjoy. I was trying to go get one this morning, man. My spot that people was around, like out the corner around the block. I was like, I gotta interview this morning. I can't be sitting here in line with y'all. I got to go. But nobody is hurting for business
Right.
because everybody has their favorite one, and your favorite one may not be mine.
Exactly. Don't let that stop you. I
Do
get that
not let
all
that
the
stop you.
time.
If God called you to it,
Do it.
go ahead and do it. He already see the full plan. He ain't gonna show it to you. He cheeky like that. That's okay. He's not gonna show it to you, but he has the full plan of how it's supposed to go. And I'm gonna say, I'm for real gonna wrap up after this because we've been going. But I'm gonna say, and I told her beforehand, I'm like, you're not gonna feel it, but it's gonna be it just it
Mhm.
goes.
It just flows.
Um, but you know, like I said, God brought you to it. He wants you to do the thing, right? And he's not gonna show you the full plan because as much as I won't see it, he's not going to show it, right? Like that's just the reality of where we stand. He's not going to show you the full plan. But if you walk in that obedience,
Hmm.
because that's my whole thing now. This is my obedience and abundance season. If you walk in that obedience, he will show you the abundance. He will open those doors for you. He will help you find those resources that you need to get to the next step. He will put us together here on this podcast to step on all your toes and hurt all your feelings in love, and purely in love.
Yes.
But also, that's where I was going. I had to get back to it because I lost my thought. Also, I want you to work in community and collaboration
Mm.
because a lot of times we are, especially like, I don't know why it's like this whole myth about women can't work together or whatever like that. It's a lot of foolishness. But, you talked about like somebody else is already doing it. We done sat here and like ran down what we both do, and if it ain't aligned, I don't know what it is. But I that's not intimidating to me to bring other women in the same space on a platform. That's actually like it encourages me, right? Because I know that I'm not the only one that thinks like this. I'm not the only one that, is moving in this direction. So that community also takes away some of that loneliness that you may feel if you're going down a path
Mhm.
that may be unique, right? Like, it, it we definitely don't get the main spotlight as some of the some of these other folk that are out here, saying and doing some stuff.
Right.
But I take comfort in that when women are sitting here listening to this podcast that may not feel connected to these other messaging, that they know that there's an alternative,
Yes. Hmm.
that they know that there's another community and we are all about community. So I just want to put that out there as well because I think that there's this lone wolf
Right. Right. They have to
vibe.
get along. Yeah.
You can't do it by yourself.
Right. You
You
can't.
cannot do it by yourself. Community is huge and keeping this going, and like we said before, like just even in like sharing energy with one another, right? Because today may be a low energy day for me, and you come in and you say something that I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm pumped back up. You
Exactly.
just gave me a little
Exactly.
jump. You didn't have to pour it all in, but you just give a little jump and I can
Yeah.
get back to
A
what I
little
need to
bit.
get to, and I can be able to help facilitate the next person.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. And community outside and off social media
Yes.
is just the way to go, because we want to leave the distractions out there and
Yes.
have a sacred space to come into to be ourselves, to pose questions, to get the support and things like that instead of everything for the whole entire world to see.
Yeah, no, some things are just private.
Yes,
And sometimes all energy is not welcome.
exactly. Exactly.
Like I'm really like weird about my space. Like I'm like like I have a retreat coming up at the end of the year and I'm like it is by application.
Oh,
Because it is a healing, it's like we gonna go deep.
right. Yeah.
And I need to make sure that it's the right energy,
Hmm.
in the space because I don't want anybody to not feel safe.
Hmm.
I don't want anybody not to feel safe in a space. Okay, we're gonna do these wrap up questions. We're
Okay.
gonna do it. We're gonna do it. All right. So my first wrap up question is tell me about your favorite pajamas.
My favorite pajamas. I love a good oversized shirt. I mean,
Yes.
really big, oversized, comfy and soft. Like that's my PJs for me. I love
Yes.
it because you can lounge on the couch, it just has so many different vibes with it, but that's
Yes.
my go-to.
Yes. Like no matter what somebody say, I'm gonna say yes because I for real. I like them all. Like I have this one shirt. It's like my husband's shirt from like band in high school.
Mhm.
I don't even know if I could call it clothes no more. Like it's so like you can just see straight through it at this point. I'm like, but it's so comfortable. But I'm like, okay, I gotta say I can't wear that one no more because it's a little too much information.
Yeah.
Okay, so finish this sentence. My time freedom allows me to.
Rest without guilt.
Mm, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, what's your best advice for anyone seeking the profits in pajamas lifestyle?
I would say that you are the creator of your own destiny.
Mm,
When we stop outsourcing our power, we are in alignment with who we are.
I like that. I like that. I like the power. Like I think that people don't realize how much power.
We are so powerful.
Yes.
Even in our words and our writing, like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think people just really don't realize how much power they have.
Mhm.
So I really love that. Okay, so tell everybody what's going on in your world. How can they get in touch with you? If there's anything special you want to share.
Yeah, so you can get in touch with me. My Instagram handle is soulliberation.official. And my Be Her Now energy community that is on school. I'm
Okay.
very active there, and that's actually the best place to find me. Social media on Instagram, that's if you want to go and do research on me and find out
Right.
other things, you can go there. But the Be Her Now energy community is where I am at, and would love to see you there.
Okay, awesome. I'll make sure that we're gonna have that in the show notes so y'all can get there. And it is a really cool community. I've been dibbling and dabbling in there. The end of my year was kind of busy, so I haven't been like in there. So I'm looking forward to like getting
Okay.
engrossed in the new year. So y'all get in
Yeah,
there, because we
definitely
gotta. What did you say? We have to take authority this year.
to take authority. There's
And I
this.
have a coaching sister. She has a graphic tee that says "Take Authority." That's her. That is her one of her taglines or whatever. So definitely,
It's your
it's
time.
definitely time.
Yeah, see, we finishing each other's sentences. See, alignment.
Oh goodness. Okay, so I want to thank you again, CeCe, for being here and having this conversation. I hope that you guys got something out of this conversation that's going to push you to take a step forward.
Thank you
Just,
so much.
reach out to one of us so you
Yes,
can tiptoe if you
yes,
got to, but
we
take a
are here
step
to
forward.
support you. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. We always have a time. I
Yes,
enjoyed today.
yes, absolutely. All right, guys. So I will see you guys next week. Let me see if there's anything special to share. I'll have information about the summit that's coming up in March that I will post, as well as, I have both books that are out now. So get a copy of the books. And in March, the podcast anthology will come out. So that'll be aligned with the summit. So more information on that will be coming soon. But thank you guys for listening, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks for listening to the Prophets in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with these. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. For more information about creating balance in your life, register for my upcoming calendar detox challenge at CoachDanniD.com. Don't forget to subscribe, join the community, and book a call to find the workflow program that best fits your needs.